How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family. What a day. What a day. So, I have some things that I'm going to present to the royal family. And we're going to start with this super coon, David Armstrong. You know, he's a Texas Ranger. And it's amazing what you can find in the world of social media. So it says here, Twitter slams Black Sergeant for saying Amber Guyger didn't commit a crime. So it says here basically, according to CNN prosecutor John Hermes objected to the testimony because Armstrong wasn't qualified to speak to Guyger's state of mind. What Ranger Armstrong believes is Ranger Armstrong's opinion. His opinions and belief doesn't help the jury. The fact that he believes something based on evidence doesn't mean the jury is going to believe the same thing. So, you know, many seen his antics, and like I said yesterday, Armstrong is an expert on many things. So I said I'm gonna find out more about Armstrong. So I have this article that I'm gonna read, and I have an article that I'm going to also leave for y'all to read at your leisure too. Now, this is dated March 7, 2019. So there is a pending lawsuit out. Lawsuit spotlights misconduct of Texas Rangers. Y'all going to have that for y'all leisure. But I got something I'm going to read, but I'm not going to put it up on the screen because I'm dyslexic, and this particular article is teeny weeny. So I had to put it on my laptop, and I'm able to read it a lot better. And so I'm reading from, they call it lawflog.com. And then I hope I don't forget, I'll leave that there too. Corruption and cover up at the Texas Department of Public Safety. And what I'm reading was dated, this article was put November 27th, 2018. I always make sure I got these receipts, my royal family. If I forget, please remind me. I'm going to try my best not to forget to pin this one. So we're going to find out what's going on in your world. So, a fatal traffic wreck involving Texas Ranger David Armstrong of Dallas is a good example of double standards. Inside DPS on February 2nd, 2017, Ranger Armstrong was returning from a special operation shift on the Mexican border, where he crashed his DPS vehicle into a pickup, ejecting both the driver and passenger. After several weeks, a DPS Highway Patrol accident construction team was able to recover the vehicle computer to confirm his speed at the time of the crash. He was driving 84 miles per hour on Highway 281 in Fremont, where the posted speed limit is 45 miles per hour. Ranger Armstrong fractured his hip, and his DPS vehicle burned down to the metal. Whoa, that was serious. The passenger of the other vehicle, 30-year-old, let's see, they got here DJ Christopher, spelled with a K, of Fremont, died of his injuries 5 days after the wreck. even though the accident occurred in Fremont city limits and city limits and are normally investigated by city police, DPS handled the investigation so it could cover up what happened. Among other things, Armstrong was violating a DPS safety rule at the time of the accident. The rule mandates that officers working on the border take a 6-hour rest period before driving home, and the rule has been in effect for more than a year at a time at the time of the accident. Ranger Armstrong had repeatedly violated the rule, a fact known to his supervisors, and he was violating it again when he was driving through Fremont at 10:15 p.m. Although most drivers would have been charged with manslaughter, criminally negligent homicide, or at least reckless driving, Ranger Armstrong was never charged with anything, nor was he disciplined. Instead, the entire incident was covered up by senior DPS comrades, and Ranger Armstrong is now leading a high-profile investigation into a police shooting in Dallas. Ain't that amazing, my royal family? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you sitting up here like you Mr. Suave, and you think you fooling the motherfucker, and you got dirty laundry too. See, this type of motherfucking coon here, he been doing this work for years. And I pegged him immediately when I seen him. I know about this. And many in the royal family know about these super coons like this. And see, he did a lot of greasy, grimy, dirty work for the enemy. And he's untouchable. That's what he think. He'll have to deal with the divine hand on that. So, many in here got on Twitter and drug his ass. And I'm going to make sure this article is here too as well. I just wanted to solidify that, my royal family. I'll read one of them. David Armstrong just said shooting Botham Jean was reasonable because he was seen as a threat to Amber Guyger. Even when you're sitting in your home minding your own business as a black man, you still don't have any rights. And then somebody picked up on something that I was tripping off of. Amber Guyger, Texas Ranger David Armstrong. David Armstrong appeared as a strong witness. He gives good camera face, but he reminds me of the former cop Mark Furman for the O.J. murder trial. He has skeletons in his closet as well. Give me 3. Wow. Yeah. Game, recognize, game. Oh, yeah. So my royal family, make sure you spread it. Spread it real thick like he was spreading it. You see what I don't like about a motherfucker like this? Our royal sons, parents, brother and sister sitting up in there, and probably other extended family and friends and co-workers. And this super coon with a straight face said what he said, had no regard, no respect, none at all for Botham Jean's family. None at all. That's how grimy he get down. So, now we're going to recap today's BS. So, Amber Guyger, you are one cowardly bitch. And I picked up on some things, my royal family. So let's start right here. Okay. You see this picture here? This is when the police officers came in and immediately started administering CPR to Botham. And we know for a fact she did not touch him, but she made damn sure she killed him. And I spotted something, and then I spotted real quick, and this one of the officers that was also on the scene that came a little bit later, he didn't recognize it because it was a lot going on. But boy, a camera don't lie. So let's get into it, my royal family. Oh, there's that coward trying to look pathetic. You are pathetic. You sorry bitch. So, we're going to hear this testimony. And I'm not going to play all of it. But we're going to hear about a minute or so of it. And I'm going to stop and go on this. Let's blow this up. Let me go back to the beginning. Here we go. Let's see. Might have to do a refresh. Let's see here. Oh, here we go.
Good morning, Officer Wynn. Would you please say and spell your full name for the court's reporter?
Full name is Tu Min Nguyen.
Okay, spell that for her.
First name is T-U. Middle name is M-I-N-H. Last name is N-G-U-Y-E-N.
And Officer Wynn, would you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how you're employed?
How am I, sir?
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Repeat your last question, sir.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a Dallas police officer at a Dallas police. I work at Central Patrol.
All right. How long have you been a Dallas police officer?
I've been a Dallas police officer for over 5 years now.
All right. And you're in patrol right now?
Yes.
Back on September the 6th, 2018, were you one of a number of Dallas police officers that responded to the Southside Flats on an officer assist call?
Yes, I was.
Judge, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Officer Wynn, do some Dallas police officers have body cam videos?
Yes, they do.
Do some Dallas police officers not have body cam videos?
Some don't.
All right. On September the 6th of 2018, were you wearing a body cam?
Yes, I was.
And have I showed you that again this morning and at a previous meeting that you and I have had?
Yes, sir.
Does that body-worn camera that is indicative that it belonged to you, is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw for your time inside apartment 1478?
Yes, sir.
I offer, and does that contain on State's Exhibit number 21, which I played for you this morning?
Yes, sir.
I offer State's Exhibit 21.
Okay.
It's admitted.
And do I have permission to publish that? Your Honor, may I
You
publish?
said that was State's Exhibit what?
21.
You have medical records marked as 21. You do not
Have-
intend to offer.
No, ma'am, not at this point.
Yeah, it's admitted.
Officer Wayne. So the jury's already seen the perspective from one side of Mr. John. I just want them to be able to see it from the other side so they can just see it from both sides. Were you positioned kind of opposite Officer Lee and Officer Blair?
Yes, I was.
Okay. They were kind of up towards his shoulder and head area. Were you more down towards his feet?
Yes.
Now pause this about 18 seconds into your body cam video. Your audio hasn't actually activated yet, but you've activated your body worn camera, is that right?
Yes.
Who are those two people that you see further down the hallway as you're approaching apartment 1478?
That was Officer Amber Guyger and Officer Nam Dong and Sergeant Valentine.
All right, so is Sergeant Valentine, where is she coming from?
She is outside the door.
And what was Amber Guyger doing? What was the defendant doing as you were going into the apartment?
She was walking away.
Okay, was she on her phone?
I couldn't remember.
Stop video at 22 seconds in. Does it appear that she's on her phone at this time?
Yes, sir.
Does it appear that she's texting?
It looks like it, sir.
And just as far as a relationship is what you're going to find out, what's happening inside 1478 right now is you're fixing to learn.
Officer Lee and Officer Blair was giving CPR to Mr. John.
Okay, we're going to stop it there. We're not going to watch it all. So let's go back. Let's go back a little taste. And all these will be here to watch at your leisure too, my royal family. Because I caught this immediately. Now. This bitch is doing all this screaming and hollering. I thought it was my apartment. And all that shit. And we know already when she had called 911 and just trying to sound hysterical, she simultaneously was texting her ex-lover, ex-married lover. Yeah, I done found out he's married too. That's a whole different story. I ain't gonna reveal it all and how it got out there, but from a very reliable source, he's married too. So she's an immoral bitch. All right. And I got a theory on what happened because I've been way off on a few things. But I caught it immediately. So, she do a whole show in song and dance, or a pony show for the cameras. And then she's so preoccupied, she's texting. So all of this is going on. Botham barely got a pulse. And this murderous bitch is texting her lover because she needy. She know he was married. And I had to think long and hard, my royal family. I've been pondering this for the longest. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. So again, I'm going to repeat myself. One of the people that testified, one of the last people that testified yesterday, was a brother that was a school teacher / coach. He was parked on the 4th floor. And he said Amber Guyger was driving at a high rate of speed. And which that's very dangerous in a parking lot. Well, as I started hearing more and more, I said, okay, I was off on some things. So let's backtrack. After she worked, like they say in this long ass shift, soon as she get off of work, she texting him, want to touch. And then they sending naked pictures back and forth to each other. All right. Then there's a 16-minute conversation, and he basically letting her know, I got to go home to my wife. I got enough problems at home. I can't keep doing this. Because, he'll lie to his wife and say, I'm doing overtime. And it ain't reflecting in his coins. So I said, wow, that is plausible then. So she was driving so erratically and crazy, the bitch really didn't know what floor she was on. And she was in a fit of rage. I've been trying to put that together. Now, that's just my opinion. I can be totally off, somewhat, or right on point. And I have no problem hearing other people's theories. Because we all in this together, my royal family. Ain't no competition thing. She killed our royal son, one of the best we have. The cream of the crop. She affected many lives. There's people who have lost their jobs because of her. Many people moved up out of there. We see our royal son, what was that? I think that was Joshua. I know it was Joshua. I don't want to butcher up his last name. He cried so deep. You meet a person, bond with a person in one day, and they dead because you got a murderous bitch, selfish, don't give a fuck anything that's in front of her, lie about any and everything, and all you concerned about is your raggedy, pasty white ass, and you're sitting up there all propped up crying. Fuck your tears. Fuck you to the core. And I meant what I said. You get no rest at all. At all. Yeah, that's her doing her thing. There are some decent cops out there. Very, very few. Very few. So, then, we're going to move on to the next phase. So, I got a video for y'all to listen to.
Trial of Amber Guyger. The former Dallas police officer's defense team will begin presenting its case tomorrow. CBS 11's JD Miles joins us live from the Dallas County Courthouse with more on the final day of prosecution testimony. JD?
Well, prosecutors wrapped up their case focusing on a couple of things. First, telltale signs around the apartment building that Amber Guyger missed, but prosecutors say were too obvious, showing where she was to forgive her actions. Second, her decision to use a gun if she really thought she was confronting an actual intruder.
Generally, does it go to the right and back?
A series of crime scene experts were among the last prosecution witnesses to take the stand against Amber Guyger. Photos of both Botham Jean's and Guyger's apartments were compared, with prosecutors pointing out the differences and the defense pointing out the similarities. But the red doormat outside Jean's apartment is what prosecutors continue to bring up as something they argue was too obvious for Guyger to miss when she shot her neighbor, claiming she walked inside the wrong apartment. Prosecutors went over every possible defensive weapon on her police uniform belt she could have resorted to if Jean were an actual threat, including a taser, OC spray, and a knife. But an attorney for Guyger got a Texas Ranger to suggest those would not have been a trained officer's first option.
If an officer is faced with a deadly threat, which of these is an officer taught to use to address a deadly threat? Deadly threat would be the handgun, the weapon.
After the state rested its case, the family of Botham Jean left the courtroom, now expecting to hear Guyger's side of the story in the coming days. And a crime lab expert also testified there was no blood found on Guyger's uniform, which suggests, according to prosecutors, that Guyger made no effort to save the life of an innocent man. Guyger is expected to testify at some point. With her argument that this was all a terrible mistake, legal experts say she has no choice if she wants to be acquitted. The defense will begin presenting witnesses in the morning. Live in Dallas, JD Miles, CBS 11 News.
All right, JD, thank you very much. A former assistant district attorney is weighing in on some surprising testimony in the Amber Guyger trial. It's testimony that will never be heard by the jury. The lead investigator of the shooting said he did not believe that the shooting was a crime. Those comments were made yesterday. Our Steve Pickett joining us live now today with more on why the investigator made that assessment and new reaction to that assessment this afternoon. Steve, what are they saying?
Well, Ken, the ranger you speak of, his name is David Armstrong. He testified, as you mentioned, about this investigation of this shooting on yesterday, with his opinion about that shooting not being a criminal act in his view. It was not allowed by Tammy Kemp, the judge here, to be heard by this jury. In fact, the sworn affidavit seeking the arrest of Amber Guyger last year is written and signed by David Armstrong. He said then that Guyger committed manslaughter. It was a grand jury, however, that issued a murder indictment for Guyger last year in the death of Botham Jean. Former First Assistant DA Mike Snipes, I talked to him today. He says Investigator Armstrong's new view would be and should be stopped in this case or in any case.
Well, and it shouldn't be part of the case. It would invade the province of the jury. The judge's decision was the correct one. Well, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Ultimately, this is for the jury to decide, and only the jury. That's why the indictment is not considered as evidence of guilt either.
Now, Armstrong said he formed this opinion after the completion of the Texas Rangers investigation into this shooting. The operative word here being opinion. It will not be allowed to obviously go before this jury. As you know, the prosecution now resting. We are simply told the only people who can form an assessment in view of this case right now are the 12 people in that jury. Reporting live, Steve Pickett, CBS 11 News.
Steve, thank you very much for that. We learned today that court will be in session on Saturday so the defense can continue to call their witnesses. You're going to want to stay with CBS 11. As this trial continues to unfold, we're going to bring you the very latest on...
So, I am really happy that family, somebody was responsible enough to say what's really going on, that he overstepped. That was real foul what this motherfucker did. Really, it's a lot of foul things that are popping off. So, last, you know, I always say somewhat last, the best for last. So, next picture. Bitch look woe out, don't she? So, what happens, there's a break, and it was a little bit boring today. You know, it wasn't that much excitement. And then out the blue, we hear that Amber Guyger gonna testify, unquote, this evening. And so I had talked to Lisa, and they were saying that she needed 15 minutes to prepare. And Lisa, like, shit, she should have been well prepared as long as they've been stalling. They did delay this case once. It was supposed to start in August. Because they don't have no motherfucking case. So me and Lisa Cabrera is talking. And I said, Lisa, she ain't gonna come out. It was taking way too long. Way too long. The bitch cracked. Yeah, she cracked. Get your ass up there. You know, people been propping your ass up. People been taking care of you financially, sending you on a trip to the Caribbean, lying for you, cheating for you, all kind of shit. And you ain't liked nowhere. You didn't administer any type of CPR. None of your training kicked in because you was too busy trying to dick ride somebody, a married man. You wasn't nothing but a hoe for him. All you got out of it was a wet ass. Oh yeah, my royal family, I'm keeping it raw because I'm pissed. That bitch up in there texting, and our royal son is laying there. So, you know, come on out. Since you Billy Badass. Oh, she got a Napoleon complex. Women can have it with her little ass. I think they said she was 5'3". Didn't come out. She can't handle the pressure. See, when you take a motherfucker like that, and they gotta be all propped up, and I often say, lay down your swords, and let's start even, they lose every time. Oh yeah. They know what we are capable of. Becky, y'all told me about you and your funky ass ways. Ain't the rap sweet? So, I'm gonna play this next part.
Peace in her life. The sister told me the same thing, and the father told me the same thing. Like, we don't feel like we can fully move on with our lives, and for both of them to rest in peace until this trial is over. That's what they told me.
You know, one thing I've noticed in terms of just watching this trial from here as we're watching a video feed is that things look different in the courtroom because obviously we can't see the reaction of the jury, the family. We're just seeing what's in the box, basically. Right. The person who's sitting there. Have you felt the same thing, Rebecca, in terms of just...
Yeah, it's hard to gauge what's going on since the judge has limited us in the courtroom, and I haven't seen a lot of, and I don't know if the judge isn't allowing cutaways of the family, because we have had those in other trials. From Court TV, the pool camera on this, we have not seen the reaction from anyone in the actual courtroom, and I would like to see that. Now, I did speak with Tasha, and she said that she's been trying to read the jury, and I talked to a couple of people that have been every day in the courtroom as well. What is the jury? How are they reacting? And some people feel that there's a couple of jurors that have already made up their minds, that they are sitting there with their arms crossed and they're, they're ready. And then there's others that appear a little emotional, but it's so hard to gauge. I mean, there have been times when I thought, okay, this is what it's going to be, and then the jury does something completely different. So hard to gauge how the jury is feeling. But the body language of at least a couple of the jurors, according to people that have been in there, is like they have made up their mind to convict.
Right. Well, are we getting any sense of, also I want to let people know on Facebook and YouTube, if y'all have questions that you would like Rebecca to answer or Justin to answer, I'm trying to keep up with them and try to, get those answered. Do we have any sense of what the delay is right now? And, the judge said 15 minutes and we're clearly about a half hour in now.
I mean, it could be that they're preparing her, that they need a little bit of time. But I mean, they've probably grilled her over and over and over and over. I mean, Justin could speak a little bit more to this on what lawyers are doing to prepare Amber Guyger for what's coming. Right. But I'm sure that there are some things that came up in this trial. Yeah, they probably suspected, but now they know that they're just in cross-examination. They're going to ask her those questions. So are they preparing her? And that's what's taking so long. And also, I mean, they might, and if they don't start with Amber, they could be scrambling to get their witnesses involved here as well.
All right, Rebecca, we've got the judge back in the courtroom.
Off-put by the formality of you standing up every time. I understand juries expect that they see it on TV, and I think we should do that for them in reverence for their role. But if it's just going to be me and you know it, you don't have to. I will be offended if you don't. Okay. The state having rested. Mr. Rogers, I understand you have some motions you'd like to file.
Yes, Your Honor. First, the defense would move for a direct verdict of not guilty, and that the state of Texas has not proved each and every element of the indictment, that the defendant knowingly and intentionally caused the death of the complainant by shooting the complainant with a firearm, or that the defendant intentionally caused serious bodily injury and committed an act clearly dangerous to human life. That they have not proven those elements, and additionally they've not proven it with that this occurred without justification. Additionally, we would move for a directed verdict on murder, and that the state has not proved the requisite culpable state of mind for murder, knowingly intentionally caused the death of, or intentionally committed an act clearly dangerous to human life. Additionally, if that motion is granted, we'd ask for a directed verdict of not guilty on manslaughter, and that the state has not proven a culpable state of mind of reckless in this case. And additionally, if that is granted, we would ask for a directed verdict on the issue of criminally negligent homicide, and that the state has not proven that the defendant acted with criminal negligence in causing the death of the complaining witness.
Mr. Hermes, I presume you have a response.
Your Honor, the state has proven each and every element in the murder indictment presented to the jury. sufficient for it to go to the jury for their consideration. With respect to the requisite mental state, not only is there the statement of the defendant that she shot the complainant, there was also the testimony of the medical examiner, which said the cause of death was the gunshot wound. The bullet and the casings were linked to the gun that was in the possession of the defendant. There's no question that it was the defendant seen at the location at the time. By body cam evidence, there is substantial evidence on each and every element sufficient for this jury to find the defendant guilty of murder, and therefore all of the lessers included.
Mr. Rogers, the court will deny your motion for a directed verdict regarding murder, manslaughter, and criminally negligent homicide. And inasmuch as I don't know whether or not you all had discussed that the state was going to rest today, but that being said, I think we will recess court today and begin tomorrow morning at 8:30 with the defense's case in chief. Is there anything else that I need to take up, Mr. Rogers?
There you are.
Anything else from the state? And I need to let you all know, well, I think I have, but just to be on the record, we do intend to work on Saturday. Although on Saturday, I want to truncate it and let us be in session from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m.
We will plan accordingly, Judge.
All right, thank you.
As you can see, the court has recessed for the day. We were expecting presumably to get the first witness, but that has not happened. The court has recessed again for the day, and they will restart in the morning. We also just heard that for sure that we will have court on Saturday. I guess the expectation is then that we will probably hear from Amber Guyger in the morning. I mean, you think that's why they would? I guess it sounded like the judge wasn't expecting the state to rest today.
Right. I mean, wow. I mean, just a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster ride. I mean, we fully expected that we would hear Amber Guyger today.
I did.
And honestly, I believe, the court should have been prepared for that. Got to be prepared for everything. We're ending testimony at 2 o'clock. You got a sequestered jury. I mean, I'm sure they're tired. I'm sure they want to get through this trial as quickly as possible. I don't know why you prolong the defense presenting their case in chief. Let's get into it.
I'm assuming that's what the defense wanted. Hey, Rebecca, are you back on the phone?
I am. I'm back here.
Hey.
I suspected that because I told you that earlier when I was talking to some of the people that have been in the courtroom on both of Sean's side, that they were surprised that, well, they thought that this was going to go on for another day or two, testimony from the prosecution. But I felt like it was winding down, and I suspected that they didn't have their witnesses ready, and that's what was taking so long, because I do think that it caught some people off guard that the defense rested as quickly as they did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
I mean, even though we were getting the sense this morning that they were winding down, we had originally heard that the prosecution planned to go 4 days, and so they ended basically halfway through this day, and I guess the defense was just not ready to go. Are we still thinking, though, that Amber will be first tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I mean, if they can't scramble, I feel like if they were going to call her first, they would have gone ahead and called her to the stand today. So, I mean, that was my feeling, like, why not call her first? But I told you that I see Craig Miller up here every single day, except I have not actually seen him in the last few hours. And so I don't know if he's going to be one of the first witnesses. I have not seen any of the...
So I just wanted y'all to just really get that. I love to rub it in real deep. So, the bitch buckled. She couldn't face reality. But our royal son Botham, the last thing that he seen was this murderous bitch face. And he had to deal with reality. He was just minding his business. And then you try to dirty him up and make him the criminal because he smoked some fucking weed. He don't supposed to say something when somebody barge up in his place? And then when you really think about it, when I really processed it and absorbed it, my royal family, I said, this is because this bitch couldn't get a piece of dick that night? You didn't have a fucking backup plan? Nobody ain't checking for you. So you slither around and hook up with a married man. And it's his fault too. But see, at the end of the day, I have taught my 2 royal daughters this reality. I said, I know it's unfair. Both of my daughters, Natalie and Christina. I said, at the end of the day, the woman carries the load. It is visible what we are doing when we are pregnant. It is what it is. It ain't a good look, Amber. You crazy. I wish I could. I don't believe in wishing. All I need is like a good strong 3 minutes to choke your ass out. You killed our royal son, the cream of the crop. Had a bright future. Bright. You know what's ironic, my royal family? I'm always talking about the number 17, and I forget because I read so much whose name it was. But one of our royal family said, do you know she walked past 16 doors and Botham's door was number 17? I said, go figure. That's deep. That's deep. It's been a hell of a day. It's been a hell of a week. So we got Friday and Saturday. And I'm going to keep bringing it. I'm going to keep bringing it. And I'll remind y'all tomorrow. I said that I owed y'all a hangout. And we're going to all have it on Lisa's channel. We might as well just all come together. And if anybody don't know about her channel, I'll make sure a link is there and everything. And we got to chop it up, my royal family. This is intense. And I know I'm making it intense. I ain't going to make nothing light on this. I'm putting my heart and soul in it. That's why I'm taking my sweet royal time. Yes. Ain't that something? People out here trying to save his life and this bitch texting. And then when it's time to call her on the carpet, she bitch up. You killed our royal son. Your life will never be the same, however it may go. Never. You get no peace. You get no sleep. You get no rest. So, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.